welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. It is the week at Newcastle United. My name is Emil Franchi, and Jess is here as well. I'm trying to jazz it up a bit.
We need like background music or something.
Can you not jump in or something?
Oh, 2 seconds.
Hang on, we still see it. It's Jess is on as well. A wonderful goal. Yes, welcome back. This is the bit on the side, the bit that everyone loves to watch in their droves. And hello to everyone who'll be watching it. And I hope you have a nice evening. We're joined tonight by two classics, as I've just described it as. This is more classic than the Manchester United, Manchester City game that we saw at the weekend that was built up so much. So hopefully this is going to deliver even more. We've got Daryl.
Hello.
You changed your calendar since we last spoke. What happened to the squirrels? I'm sure that was this year, by the way. What have you gone to next year already?
Different location.
Eh?
Oh.
Different location.
So you got a calendar in every room?
Well, there's a calendar downstairs for people downstairs, and I've got a calendar on the wall for Newcastle United pictures.
For them, the others. Yes, he's got Bob Lee there up as well.
Downton Abbey.
It's got his servants for Dasmo. Careful, because they'll start fiddling with the Wi-Fi in a second. So we've got Daryl while we've got him here. One classic shirt there. We've got one classic shirt down here as well. Lee is joining us. Lee Forster from Yorkshire. Lee, what are you? Is Scarborough enjoying themselves in a different tier to everyone else, or are we all three in it?
To be honest with you, I've not wanted to leave the house for about 6 months, so I've not really noticed.
Isn't that a lovely way to be? So unaware of what's going on, just completely fine about the whole thing. God, I'm jealous already. Well, cheers, lads, for joining us. It's a mixed bag this week, very much so, true Newcastle United fashion, and it's not going to be pretty because we're going to start with the good news. We're starting the week on a high. It got to Saturday. Newcastle were finally back in action after the COVID break. A nice little holiday for everyone, when Isaac Hayden spending more time in bed. But we beat a promoted side. We made it look easy. These promoted sides, nothing to worry about, really. West Brom coming to St James's Park in their kit that looked like it had just been printed off my photo printer, designed by a kid in the stands. It's a weird away kit, that one. But yeah, West Brom came and we did conquer, only just, Jess. But I've put in here, there was a boring middle. There was a great start, a great finish, and the middle bit, I wasn't even drunk, just blanked out completely. What the hell happened?
I'm exactly the same. Like, thinking back to that game, there was like you said, there was the beginning, which was like the first 20 seconds. Then there was the whole thing in the middle, and then there was the brilliant goal, I'll say, as well at the end. But other than that, there's not really much to say about it. It was just your same standard Steve Bruce performance, just absolutely dire. So boring, so negative, so boring. Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. It seems to be the same thing that we're saying. Same old on ExtraTyne. It was rubbish. It was a great 20 seconds, but Almiron got his start, got his goal, Lee. You'd think that would count for something. We won't speak about the fact he was dropped for the next game, but how important is he for us?
Massively, the energy he gives us, the harrying, the chasing down and what have you. But coming back onto the great start, if I can, Emil, what you call it, every time the earlier we score, the more worried I get.
Yeah. Because
literally, if we score in the first 5-10 minutes, you know for a fact they're going to sit and they're going to try and defend for like 80 minutes, and you can't do it. You simply can't do it. And you saw them within 5 minutes of Saturday. They scored the first goal. You're thinking, hey, get after them. We've got no confidence. They've won no away games this season. And they just started to retreat back and gradually let West Brom back into the game. And honestly, it's really starting to boil my piss. It's just such a pattern, week in, week out. But Almiron, have him in the starting lineup every single week just for his energy. Because players feed off it. They feed off him.
Yeah, I'm liking the length of his hair as well. So that another positive for that. It's getting to optimum length for me. If you can just get it growing a little bit longer, so we can get that nice little flick at the front like he used to have when he was in the MLS, that would be great. Almiron's smile was there, and it faded very quickly. We gave the goal away early into the second half. Daryl, what are we doing wrong? It's a very vast question, but what is it? What are we failing to do? Why are we allowing these teams to come in? And yes, I know it's going to come down to the manager's style, the tactics, and everything like that. But what are you noticing now that seems to be where we crumble a bit?
I think we're just like, we had that early lead. We score after the 20 seconds, and then we just completely fail to build on it. And there's no press. We don't go on the front foot, and we don't take the opportunity to go after teams when we get an early lead. Same thing happened against Man United. We got an early goal against a team that was in terrible form at the time, and they were shattered confidence-wise, and we just sat back. And you could tell the longer it went on, the sooner the goal was going to come. You just knew it was going to happen. We were going to concede a goal eventually, and then, early in the second half we did. And I've got to say, as bad as all that was, I've got to give Steve Bruce a bit of credit for making the subs that he did, because it led to getting the winner.
Yeah.
But again, that's almost like the only positive, because we created that problem for ourselves and we didn't deal with it.
It's architects of our own downfall, I think, is one of the quotes that seems to be doing the rounds at the minute, and certainly in the second game that we'll speak about. But yeah, the subs were good, Jess. I think, what was it? Obviously, Gale came on, and we had Murphy come on as well. Murphy connecting once again. Where does this come from? What is it about Jacob Murphy? Where's he found this kind of form?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's getting a chance.
Yes.
I don't know. Is it just yeah? Has he always been like this, and we've just not seen it because he's not been given the chance to prove himself? I don't know.
I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in on it. I mean, Lee, with Jacob Murphy, I mean, it seems to be that he's taken more chances this season than he's ever has in his life. Not so much in the next game, but certainly in the attacking options.
Let's be honest, though, he's had more chances. You stick him on the pitch for 40 minutes, 50 minutes a game, whatever he's getting, he's going to have one or two moments where he does something well, because he's a decent footballer. He's not top 10 level. He's a middle of the road Premier League footballer, and that cross is as good as you're going to see. But you give any right winger 100 crosses, they'll knock one or two in like that all day long. They will, and I just think it's a case of he's getting more time, so we're seeing more of him than we've had in the past. Because I mean, let's be honest, how much have we seen of him in the last 3 or 4 years since he signed?
Very little.
We're getting a chance to see him, and he's got tricks in him now and again, but he's not consistent enough. His end product invariably isn't there. He runs down a lot of blind alleys. God, if this is depressing. We haven't even got on to Leeds.
This is meant to be the positive bit. We've completely crucified the team. I should have said based on that game alone. But yeah, no. Dwight Gale with a brilliant header. Obviously, Murphy did set it up, Daryl. But I know that it didn't happen. But do you think that Dwight Gale, based on the 2 games that he's played, has given himself a case to be starting in the next one?
Starting, I'm still not sure yet. I think he's coming back from an injury that's hampered him on more than one occasion. This is a recurring sort of problem for Dwight Gale, so we've got to treat him coming back in gently. Use him in this role that he's being used in for now, and then once he's built up a bit of resilience, then we can consider starting him. I actually think it could be quite soon where he does start a game, and I'm probably looking more towards the cup tie next week. That will probably see him start. But he needs to be built up and have a bit of resilience before we consider starting him and playing him in full games.
Yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned about Brentford.
When he scores as well, because I've never seen somebody look so pissed off every time they score.
Well, I think the West Brom connection probably there, because he did a job for them, didn't he?
Last season, he scores and he walks away like he's lost a tenner and found a quid.
So are you telling me that you're not going to kick off if Mitrovic goes absolutely crazy against us on Saturday when he gets 3 goals? Maybe. I knew I'd get you. Had it ready in the locker, just straight out there with his Mitrovic, with his guns. But yeah, look, let's just rip the plaster off here and go straight to Leeds, Elland Road on a Wednesday night. How were you feeling before the game, Jess?
Well, I mean, the stats and things that were being thrown about, that threw me off a little bit. Like, there was Steve Bruce has never won 3 games in a row. That was one in
Now,
the Premier League or whatever it was.
Was that an actual stat though? Because I saw that someone debunked that he did it with Wigan.
Yes, I'd seen that as well.
I don't know.
I think that was debunked pretty quickly.
I don't know.
Because I think that the original tweet that went round was from the same account that said that Fabian Schär would be suspended for a Newcastle game because he got sent off at a Switzerland game. Never forget. And
it might have been debunked, but let's be fair, said it was in 2009 the last time he did it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go. But like,
Premier League
like,
sets up every 10 years.
There was all these things being thrown about, and coming off the back of Saturday, yes, we won, but the performance was awful again. So, and we're coming against again a newly promoted side. As was
Crystal Palace, by the way. As was Crystal Palace.
Yeah, and we're coming up against another newly promoted side who they've been playing all right. I've been relatively impressed by them, not overly impressed, relatively impressed, and I thought we'd get beat, but I didn't think we'd get our arses handed to us like we did.
I think it was a flattering result for them, if you ask me. I know they had 25 shots on there, and it did kind of collapse in the final few moments, but I still think it was pretty flattering. I think we looked okay in some situations. I mean, there's certainly the opening part before Hendrick scored.
Yeah, it was like the first 10-15 minutes.
I was well impressed. I thought Joe Linton looked good on the ball.
Yeah, it was quite positive. But I mean, the first 10-15 minutes and the last 10-15 minutes having complete polar opposites. Like, it was horrendous.
Yeah, it was indeed. So was Sean Longstaff, Daryl. Where do you stand on that? Because I know that it's opened up another can of worms on the NUFC Twitter. God love it. And people are, you've got everyone basically jumping on Sean Longstaff. You've got a few staunch defenders of Sean Longstaff. A few people saying phone Man United quickly. I think our own account was doing that. But
yeah,
the jokes will always get made about that Manchester United rumour. But what was it about last night, and what seems to have gone wrong? Do you think he'll come good again?
I think he will, but I don't think it would be under Steve Bruce.
No, absolutely.
I think he's certainly become a victim of this manager, which is something you don't really want to be saying. But I think a lot of the confidence that he had, he hasn't been the same since that injury at West Ham 2 years ago. I think he's lost that ability. And he's lost the confidence, like I said. I think he's not being coached properly. And you have a look, and it's that old thing. You don't want to bring it up, but under the previous regime, he was being coached properly by a good set of coaches who knew how to develop him. And under Steve Bruce and his team, he seems to have gone backwards. And he's not the only player. There's more than him who have gone backwards. And I really feel for him. I mean, look, he's made a lot of mistakes this season, and one of the goals last night isn't the first time we've seen that as well, because he did the same at Southampton. He dallied on the edge of the box, gave away possession, and the team scored. But he can be worked on, he can be brought back to his best, but it needs a better set of coaches to do it.
Yeah, it's sad seeing it, and I've been guilty of giving a lot of frustrations out on him, but like you say, losing the ball seems to be his one thing at the minute, and it's going to take a lot of work to fix that. It's not just going to happen overnight.
I think it was like the last 3 goals he had like a hand in, like their last.
He did.
Their last, like, obviously accidentally helped them out in the last 3 goals.
The third one was definitely him.
It is sad. It's very sad to see, like, because he's quite young as well. So you'd expect to see him like maturing. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't seem like he's changed for, like, say, probably about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's hard as well when it's a player who obviously supports the club, because I've always said that Sean Longstaff, Matty Longstaff, they're the types of player that will run through a wall for Newcastle United.
Yeah.
And even though he tries that, maybe that's not the best idea at the minute. He'll probably miss the wall, to be honest.
None of them can run at all at the minute, the way they are.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Well, yeah, there's fatigue that came into it as well. Some players did look knackered. We saw Isaac Hayden against West Brom looking particularly good, but again in this one, sometimes it doesn't work down the other side. And there was frustrations about the penalty. That wasn't a penalty, and then of course the fouls at the other end. Everyone's getting confused and frustrated. So it was always doomed by that point. I would say it just wasn't our night. Can we talk about Ryan Fraser-Lee? Whilst he was getting the shit kicked out of him by Leeds at every opportunity, did you think that there was some positive influence there from him?
Definitely. I mean, let's be honest. What you call it, Leeds were lucky to not go down to 10 men because that Glick, Fraser broke in the first half, and that Glick literally took him out of the game. And he didn't get booked for that one. About 15 minutes later, he did exactly the same. He did, and he got booked for that. Now, that really should have seen Leeds go down to 10 men, but that was Fraser's pace. I'll be honest with you, I don't think Fraser should have started. As impressive as he was, I don't think he should have started. He's been out the side for too long. For me, the player would have been start Almiron, give him 60, and then let Fraser come on for the last 30, because he would have been struggling for match fitness, the lad. But listen, he was one of the bright sparks last night for me, along with Clark and Darla and Joe Linton. I thought Fraser came out really well. If he can take that sort of performance into the next few weeks, you've got a player on your hands. But personally, I started Almiron and brought Fraser on as an impact with 30 minutes left.
Yeah, it was good to see Clark get a goal as well. He's never shy to have a pop. So if the defenders start scoring, what do you know, it might happen. It was a terrible scoreline, and not one that I want to dwell on for too long. We've kind of touched on the positives of it. I guess there's not really much more that we can do. Does anyone want to dwell any more time around this result? If anyone's got anything else to say.
Kieran Clark did more in midfield than Hayden and Longstaff combined last night.
He really did.
He did, carrying the ball forward. I thought it was brilliant. Never seen him do that for a long time. As I say, he did more than our midfield combined. I felt bad because I thought he had an excellent game.
Going into this game, I mean, I've been worried about this fixture since the start of the season, really, because I know what we're like. We all know what we're like, and we all know that we can't cope with teams that press. And Leeds' press is just off the charts. They press high and they press well, and you get overwhelmed. And that's exactly what happened for the last 3 goals. And I know we were trying to be up the pitch and that, but the game management last night was totally off. And there was a strategy there to be had. And Steve Bruce knew that fatigue is a problem right now because of what we've just gone through in the last 3 weeks. And the game management should have been that, look at lads, we're probably going to start running out of energy after about an hour. So what I would have done was I would have said to them, whatever it is, if we're winning, drawing, losing, whatever that's happening, kill the game from an hour onwards. Last half an hour, stop them, solidify, just don't let anything past you, keep it down. And we just didn't do that, and we got tired even more, and it just fell apart.
We did quite the opposite, didn't we?
I think what we should have done is just let Rich Oliver do the team talk.
Yes. Well, he got the wrong game for starters, so we would have been really in the shit then. I've just noticed Sean Longstaff's on that calendar as well, Daryl.
Yes,
so just all maybe just all fit. Can I just ask that the Toonami thing? Is that the thing from Coral?
It is, yes.
It is, isn't it? Yes. God, I used to love walking past Coral and seeing those on. I used to get so excited when you saw a club that you'd not seen before, wondering what Leeds looked like. So, oh God, that's a good one. That, yes. The only thing worse than the scoreline, Jess, was the haircuts of Leeds.
The heck? What the heck? Seen someone say that what their barber must be really short because the haircuts just seem to stop here. Yeah. Like they were shaved up to here, and then they were just what? But it was all the same. They had it. Yeah.
Harrison, I think, Phillips, Ayling, all got it.
But I've not seen that anywhere else. Like, is that a Leeds thing?
It looked like a Jason Lee tribute band.
It was just awful.
It is.
Yeah, Hendrick had one as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he must have the same barber.
State a case to go to Leeds at some point. Same barber for Leeds. But I've heard that some footballers like to cut each other's hair, apparently, because obviously when they were closed, but to get them looking so fresh and trimmed, per game. Apparently, some footballers have been doing each other's hair in the dressing room. So
well, we all know who does Jose Perez's hair, don't we?
His brother, of course. Do not forget that. if any of the Newcastle team currently were a barber, who would it be? I think Matt Ritchie with Demon Barber, Fleet Street, like sweet Todd.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, just stab you there. Shelby. Good. Yeah, he knows best.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Yedlin's got his 5th different hairstyle in the space of 3 months, I think. But yes, in other news, we'll move on. And good news, again, I'm thinking of just following the under-23s because they're having a lot more luck and more excitement there with Flaherty scoring and Rodrigo Gary Vilca getting his first goal, just following his career with great interest on Extra Time. I don't think anyone else is. Rodrigo Gary Vilca getting that goal. He might get his braces removed next, so it's going to be a massive week for him.
I've heard when he gets taken out, he can start playing the trumpet.
That's what it is. Yeah. Slowly morphing into Norberto. And Jetro Willems is still knocking. Someone's knocking at the door. Someone's ringing a bell. It's Jetro Willems. He's
desperate, isn't he?
But the eyes emoji after the West Brom game. I didn't see one after the Leeds game, Jetro. You can't just let your head drop then. No. Unless you put an aubergine emoji on and everyone start going, is he okay, Jetro? He might be on his way. Who knows?
I hope
we did speak last week about incoming transfers, and we just have to wait and see. So again, we'll wait for January. In the meantime, we have got plenty of time to cover tonight's big topic. This is something we've been teasing for weeks, isn't it, Jess? I mean, not just months now, isn't it?
I think. Where
did it start from?
Well, we've used the term shithouse in I think every episode because we've shithoused our way through the season so far until last night. So
you said it that many times. I was thinking of getting a t-shirt.
We did Lovely Lads 11, obviously, because that was on the back of Fernandez's canny little tweet with his little girls.
The video, wasn't it?
Yeah, and because I think we were talking about Stephen Taylor
as well because of him.
I know, God. And we were talking about how Stephen Taylor's a shithouse, and then we were like, I think one day we were just like, we should make a shithouse 11, but like we've never got around to it.
We saved the best of it. We did the England squad as well, and Lee was on the first one. He gave a cracking synchronized Stephen Taylor the goal, Lee. So I'm sure his name's going to get mentioned because it was. But this is our shithouse 11. We've all done one each, and I think we'll just read them out and giving some reasons for them. But Jess, I'll let you begin with your shithouse 11 players who played for Newcastle United who have been shithouses. You know, they've been a bit cheeky. They've had a bit of a scrap on the pitch, but they'll do anything to let Newcastle win. Just as a bit of a disclaimer before we start, we did have the discussion, and I saw a few discussions on Twitter because we put this out there as to who is a shithouse and who's just a shit. And I think that some very helpful tweeters did agree that Nile Ranger was a shit and not just a shithouse. So very much an all-rounder Nile Ranger, bad often on the field, whereas some of these actually did some good for Newcastle at some point. So that is the criteria here. Nile Ranger, you're out. So you're not even making this one. But yeah, Jess, fire away because I'm really intrigued to see what everyone's got for their goalkeepers. In fact, instead of the full team, Jess, why don't we just go around each position? So give us your goalkeeper and tell us why.
Tim Krul.
Tim Krul, right. What's his shithouse?
Time wasting.
He did love a time wasting.
He loved a bit of a time waste, and I'm a big when it's us, I'm a big fan. When it's against us, when it's against us, I'm not so keen. But when it's us, it's a little bit of a laugh in it.
Yeah, it's Lee's special topic that actually few minute hour players, but not the other teams. Didn't celebrate. What the bloody hell? I honestly, I found it so hard to pick a goalkeeper. Tim Krul's probably the go-to, but Lee, I don't know if you went a bit further back in time to delve in. Well, I mean, 2001 perhaps, or something like that.
Lee has left the call.
Nah, you've got me. Yeah, I went well back.
Oh, good. I'm good. Good. Welbeck never
John
played
Burridge.
Newcastle. Oh, Welbeck. Sorry. Right. Okay. Tell me
John
more.
Burridge.
Tell me more. I'm ready.
Said John Burridge, Budgie.
John Burridge. Right. Tell us about John Burridge. Why was
John
he a
Burridge
shit?
was an absolute maniac. He was about 1989. He was in goal for Newcastle. He used to do this most ridiculous warm up. But the reason I've named him is playoff semi-final, first leg at Roker Park. Saved a penalty in front of the full well end and then got kicked square on the nose in the follow-up. Literally 22-man brawl on the pitch. Saved a penalty, game restarted, and I was in the full well end. What you call it, brave the full well end. And he wound the Sunderland fans up for the rest of the game, and I'll never forget it. It was absolutely priceless.
Brilliant. Love that. Yes. Love a player that gets invested in the derby. We've not seen one in many years. Mainly because we've not had one in a while.
He'd have been quite happy to stick one on any of them.
So Burridge gets in goal there. We've got Tim Krul. Darryl, I am intrigued to see who you've gone with.
Well, I'm another one in the Tim Krul camp.
Tim Krul camp.
Same reasons, and that game at Tottenham where he pulled out everything to stop them.
Yep. Yeah, very much the game that defined him for a lot of people. Palermo as well, but the Tottenham one is the one that seems to come out of it. I couldn't think of a keeper, so I had to. I've named my team the People's Choice. I've kind of collected what I thought, which was a lot of the choices that came up on Twitter, but also chucked in a few choices in there. So if yours came up, thank you for yours. I can't name everyone because I can't remember who actually said what, but someone did suggest Dubravka because he likes to climb on the ball quite a lot. He likes to get on it. And again, I guess that Dubravka and Krull are pretty similar, decent keepers who I don't think Dubravka time wastes so much, but he certainly has those games where he is unstoppable and the other teams will probably think, what a shithouse. You know, he's constantly doing this. So Dubravka, I put down Shea Given, but I can't remember anything shithousey about him. The only thing that I was saying maybe he was a shithouse, which I kind of respect, was that he had that much. He was that sick of Newcastle after the 6-0. He just left. I thought, you know what, fair enough, bit of a shithouse move, but I respect it. Got out when he could.
That's a different type of shithouse, that though. That's leaving. That's leaving us in the shit.
Yeah. It's like you got your normal curry, but Shea Given's like a Thai green curry. A little bit healthier. Right, defenders. Defenders is going to be a good one. I'll start on this one with the left back, just because it was a great suggestion by our good friend Adam Cleary. Kenny Wharton, for the simple reason he sits on a ball.
I was there.
You were at that game, Lee, were you?
It was magnificent.
Yeah. So can you tell us the context for this? Because if you can't tell, I wasn't at the game.
Luton had turned us over earlier in the season 4-0 at Kenilworth Road. And I think the players had gone out at St James's Park to make a point. And we literally turned them over 4-0. We reversed the result. But I remember Gaza literally doing keepy-uppies inside the box. And he just played the ball out to the left fullback position, and Kenny Wharton was doing step-overs, and then he just sat on it. Literally just sat on the ball. It was fantastic. But the best part about it was at the end of the game. This was at the time when the Leazes End had a temporary standing there and the changing rooms were behind there. At the end of the game, the Luton manager and Steve Foster, the fellow with the headband, the captain, they were going absolutely batshit. They wouldn't let their hands with any of us or anything like that. And it was just one of those, I mean, I was 14 at the time and it was just so good to watch because we didn't get many days like that. But Christ, did they take the piss, and it was a joy to watch. Honestly, it was great.
Was the crowd giving it the old, hey,
absolutely,
all of it?
Absolutely. As I say, I mean, the players then were just taking the piss. They really did take the piss.
Shithousing back then. Oh, God. Take us back. I wish I could just go there right now. Right, Darryl, we'll go in reverse order now. Darryl, who you got?
Well, same, Kenny Wharton. And I might have only been a couple of years old at the time, but I've seen that game on YouTube. And somebody's a shithouse when they even piss the commentator off.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough.
Had the commentator off his rocker. He was
brilliant.
The commentator was completely offended.
So who have you got? Who have you got in? Who have you got on the other side then? Let's go. If you've gone for a right back.
Yeah, I've got Steve Watson.
Steve Watson, right? So tell us, why is he your shithouse?
Watson is a man who is so versatile. He could play anywhere on your pitch for you. You know, you've got that wonderful goal down at Liverpool in the League Cup, where he chipped the lad from outside the box. But more often than not, it's like he's the sort of right back that had a couple of tricks up his sleeve as well. And you could imagine how annoyed the Liverpool fans must have been when he put that goal in down there. And you know, he's done it not just for us; he's done it for his other clubs as well. He scored a hat trick for Everton from right back. Not many people do that. And,
only a shit house.
What do you think his best trick was? Did you see his somersault throwing?
Yes, I heard the somersault throwing. Absolutely.
At Ayresome Park.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that. Absolutely. All right. Well, Jess, let's have yours.
Well, I've got 3 at the back. I haven't
for 3 at the back. All right. Well, we'll come to you. We'll come to you in a second with the centre backs, and Lee will have your right back, please.
I'm going back again. I'm sorry, I'm being old again.
Oh no, I want it. I'm glad because this is why I was glad that we did it this week, because we've got wide representation.
There was a fellow we signed from Everton in the mid-80s. It was a right character, proper joker, a fellow by the name of John Bailey. Had a big curly perm sort of thing, proper 80s haircut.
Again, I'm none the wiser. I was merely a thought in my mother and dad's mind.
The older ones of it will remember John Bailey well. Came from Everton, decent right back, and we're playing, I think it was either Southampton or Birmingham, and they had this proper hard man on the left wing. I think it was Mark Dennis or somebody like that. And for some reason, John Bailey just took umbrage with him, and the peak of this umbrage with him was going to hand him the ball outside the on the east stand for a throw-in, and this Mark Dennis went to take it off him, and John Bailey just dropped it in front of him, and the Hurley stand just erupted him because he just let it drop through his hands. And it was just one of those moments where you thought, this fella thinks he's a proper hard case and he's just being mugged off by a little cheeky scouser.
I love it.
Where the whole stand erupted, taking the piss out of this. Yes, it really was.
That's brilliant.
I think there was more shithouses back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I think because football 70s 80s always sounds to me like Sunday League. You know, It just feels like players who obviously went down the pub and they all smoke in the dressing room, and it was I would love to have seen it just to see what it was like. Jess, I know you got 3 at the back, so give us. Am I guessing that we've all got that fella in?
This one.
Okay, so without saying him, let's have the 2 that you've got.
So not him, the other one.
Oh, not him.
Yeah, the other one.
I don't know who the other one is.
So my other one's Colaccini.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But that. So I
file him under not Stephen Taylor. Everyone else. There's not another Stephen Taylor.
So I've kind of done the same as you, and I went out to Twitter as well. So mine's like some of mine and some of other people's. So my other one's Colaccini, and that's because I think Chris would have probably kicked us off the channel if we didn't include.
Chris was really keen to get Colaccini.
If we didn't, so that one's for you, Chris.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. What was it about Colaccini that made him a bit shithousey? Am I right in thinking that you've got him as well, Daryl? Lee, have you gone for Colaccini too? No, he's not gone for Colaccini. So Daryl and Jess, the floor is yours, because I can't remember too much of a shithousing from him, but I guess captain in the derbies and stuff maybe did kind of things.
Yeah.
No one can remember what he's done.
To be honest, it's not so much for his first season. It's more the championship and after. You know, there was a couple of pre-season games, and I think it was against Huddersfield, and he grabbed a lad by the throat when it all kicked off at full time. He had a bit of a peak, I think, the season after we got promoted, and he was just marshalling. He really hit his peak at that time, and he would put goals in, he would contribute, and just some of the stuff he was doing, it was just enough to annoy other people, and that's what I like to see in the shithouses. Somebody who annoys others.
You love to see it, is what we'll put down here. Hook it to my veins. I've just remembered I forgot to put in my right back because I went for Colaccini, but then I thought I'd rather put in Matt Ritchie because I think he's a good modern day shithouse just because it's Matt Ritchie. I mean, he slaps other players. He calls linesmen's things. He kicks corner flags. I mean, he's just an all-rounder, and he's a bit of an enigma. I would describe him as.
Elsewhere in my team is Matt Ritchie.
Matt Ritchie's elsewhere in yours. So yeah, I've gone for Matt Ritchie the defender. So I've gone for him when he's really frustrated about playing there. That's when you get the best out of him. So without saying the other one, Lee, who's the other centre back that you've got?
A fella called Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, tell me more.
Again,
this is mental.
Proper unit. He was loved a ruck. Literally, any time there was a pile in the mid-air, Peter Jackson would be at the centre, wanting to fight every man and his dog.
See, I don't know what this guy looks like, and the only Peter Jackson that I know is the director of the Lord of the Rings, who's like quite a large bearded man.
That's him.
Huddersfield Town. He was the manager of Huddersfield a couple of years ago, and he looks like a doorman. He's an absolute Superman. What I will tell you the story as well. He's a lovely man because he came and saw me in hospital when I was ill in 1987.
Did he?
He did.
Hey, well, we shithouse on the field.
Shithouse on the field.
You came to visit in hospital and you've put him in your shithouse 11. I mean,
it's a good thing though. It's a good thing. Please do not. We're using shithouse in a loving way. We're not using shithouse in the way that Michael Chopper addressed me when I said nothing.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I was saving that for later.
Oh, it's in there. It's in there. He gets a special mention.
He was getting an honourable mention tonight.
Michael Chopper, or whoever may run his Instagram account. I mean, he's got certain tendencies. But yes, the other one that I've got written down.
Sorry, Emil.
Go on, Daryl.
I haven't got him in my 11.
That's all right. It's not like a requirement. It's okay.
No. I've got Philip Albert as my other one.
In the centre back role. Sorry, you've not got Stephen Taylor. I thought you meant Chopper. I was like, why is Chopper playing centre back for starters?
I've got Philip Albert, and this is simply because of things I've heard Steve Howie say about him in training and in games as well, where he'll shithouse his way past somebody with a bit of skill, and he'll just smile at them. He was
I love that.
Peter Schmeichel. You know, he's got that lovely little smile on his face, and I think he did it a couple of times against Man City when he scored the 2 goals against Man City. And he just does people, and they don't know what to do, and he's just standing there laughing his head off. And he would do it in training as well.
That's a cracking way of putting it. He just does people. Just takes them down. Just does them.
Love it.
Alan Pardew would have a different word for it. Brian Kilcline is the one that I went for that got mentioned. I've met Brian. I mentioned him the other week that he was a lovely guy. Again, probably the likes that would come and meet you in hospital if you were there. But yeah, from by all accounts, Lee, I'll probably have to go to you here with Kilcline. Bit of a shithouse.
Bit of a shithouse, what you call it, seasoned old pro, but I tell you what, he was probably Keegan's most important signing when he first came to Newcastle.
Yep.
He was, because we were desperate for somebody to lead that back line, and he came and he did a fantastic job. I wouldn't have said he was a shithouse, he was just an old-fashioned centre-half who would kick you.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You've answered your own question. There. I think you've made him into one in that split second.
That's what you said before, though. Like, what we would see is like shithousen now, like the little like kicks and stuff. That was probably just the norm. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just like standard.
It's like the Leeds United of years gone by.
He would take no shite from the likes of Raheem Sterling or anybody like. If he could catch, he would just put them up. He would just put them up in the air.
He'd do like a Boris Johnson charity match tackle. Yeah. Is that what it would be to take down Raheem? Or even better, the time that he tackled that Japanese lad when he was playing rugby. That's even better. Right, so we're at the main event. Finally, he's getting his starring role in a podcast, even though he's been given a mention pretty much every week. Stephen Taylor. I mean, the shithouse. Some say that's what the S stands for. I refuse to believe that Stephen's his first name. Shithouse Taylor. Stephen, we love you. We hope you're having a great time in the Indian Premier League. But he was a shithouse because, I mean, he stood in front of the keeper. He did things like no other. He got sent off for handballing the ball on the line, and he pretended like it had hit his stomach. It was just wonderful. And
I was there. I was right behind. I was right behind the goal with my granddad, and it was the game. Kieran Dyer and Lee Boyer had the fight.
Is this going to be the big reveal that you're going to say? And I actually took a BB gun and I shot it.
It was me.
It was me.
It was me. It was a bottle of pop. Like,
yeah, like slingshot a rock.
12-year-old me. Yeah, shit. No, I was there with my granddad, and I mean, that was what, 2005, 2004, 2005. So
Blue Northern Rock kit. That's all I know.
yeah. So it was one of my first games, like going to the matches, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, "Is this what it's like all the time? This is mint." And I know we got beat, but it was just the drama. I loved it.
What,
but yeah,
baptism
I
of
was
fire?
there. I was there, just
Fantastic.
behind the goal. Excellent.
So
the definition of a shithouse is somebody who winds the opposition up. Yeah.
Yep.
Was anybody again? I can't remember who it was against when he scored in the Gallowgate end, and he literally ran the length of the East Stand, celebrating the goal. Now, if you're an opposition player, you're thinking, "You twat!" He literally ran the length of the East Stand celebrating this goal. I think it was probably. I don't know. He might have even lost. It might have been a consolation goal, but he wasn't.
He was not.
He did love it. He did love
it. The
it.
road absolutely loathe him as well. They absolutely despise the boy.
They really do. Yeah,
Well,
I think that's another reason why we like
still
him.
share the picture of him hitting his face off the goal.
Yeah.
I remember when Stephen Taylor scored against Middlesbrough. He went crazy for that one. He just loved it, and that's what you want to see. And what do you expect from a Geordie lad? We've spent ages on defenders, so we might have to zoom through. So, Jess, I'm going to ask you for your midfield. How many you got there? 5?
I've got 4, but
4.
I've got 2 who are like defensive midfielders, and then I've got David Batty.
Let's have your defenders then, yeah.
David Batty and Matt Ritchie.
Defenders, yeah. Defensive midfields.
Yeah.
Cool.
David Batty and Matt Ritchie, and then just in front, I've got Scott Parker and Joey Barton.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got David Batty in mine as well. I presume that David Batty might have made it into both of yours. David Batty, I mean, Jess, do you want to take the floor on David Batty?
Mine was because mine was Twitter. Again,
right, Daryl, you're on.
If I didn't mention him, then there was no point in doing this.
I'll come to you for another one that you mentioned there because I know it's your speciality.
Yes,
I'll come to you in a second. So David Batty, apart from the time that he throttled Nicky Butt, what was it about him, Daryl?
He was just a hard man. He took no prisoners. He was rough and ready. He didn't take shit basically. And he goes in tandem with one of my front two. Is when one of my strikers. Well, it's basically, I have to say it's Alan Shearer. When Alan Shearer kicked Neil Lennon in the face.
Surprise!
Sorry. When Alan Shearer kicked Neil Lennon in the face.
You might have heard of him.
David Batty was there to shove Neil Lennon off the pitch while he was receiving treatment so that they could carry on with the game.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Perfect. Fantastic. Shithouse on to his own team and to the opposition. An all-rounder. A massive shithouse. Lee, did you have any other Batty stories?
Yeah, and it's not Newcastle related.
Fantastic.
If you want to see the definition of a shithouse, Google David Batty versus Sampdoria.
I've seen that recently.
Yes, good fun. Good fun. And the best part is it's a pre-season friendly, isn't it? Single-handedly wins the entire Sampdoria team and the coaches and the manager. I remember Mancini was playing, wasn't he? And I think he just has had enough. It's absolute class. That is in the shithouser in the dictionary. That video needs to be hyperlinked. Yeah. When the dictionary goes fully digital, it's just going to be that video on loop. Fantastic, brilliant. Yeah, it's a good video. Again, we always like to give you homework on Extra Time. Go and Google David Batty versus Sampdoria. It is sensational. Right, the other one that got mentioned in there was I've got Joey Barton in mind. So we've all got Joey Barton. Jess, time to shine. Joey bloody Barton. Not who I thought. That's not who I thought you were going to come to me for. Well, who have you got? Who have you got in the locker? Scott Parker. Scott Parker. Right, stay there. Right, okay. Lee, Joey Barton. I mean, I've got plenty to say. Apart from the, I do, but I want to save Scott Parker. You can have Scott Parker. Where do you start with Joey Barton? Yeah. Look Joey Barton up in the dictionary. Look Joey Barton up in the dictionary. But I mean, again, throughout his career. Could you get a bigger shithouse putting your cigar out on a YTS trainee night? I mean, come on. I mean, in the derbies, he was up for it. The Arsenal game, 4-4, single-handedly. That's the example against getting Diaby sent off. He got Jovino sent off against us as well, and he did it with the most Peaky Blinders haircut you've ever seen. He looked like an absolute scumbag, and then he played in the derby as well, because I thought he was that much of a shithouse. He actually got sent off against Arsenal, but my mate said no, it was Jovino who got sent off because he wound him up, and time again, Joey Barton, I mean, before he came to us, he had to didn't he have to go to prison before he came to us?
Yeah.
And then we signed him. I mean, we signed a prisoner. We literally signed a man.
If you watch that 4-4 when he got Diaby sent off, it's hilarious because he looks like he's looks like a primary school kid who's getting bullied.
Yeah.
Diaby's a tall guy too. Like anybody who's breathing, but he's like pleading innocent to the referee. What's he doing to me, referee? I'm innocent here, and he's just an absolute shithouse.
You have an idea of what the height was like in that game, by the way. It's kind of like me to Cisse. So if you imagine Diaby as Cisse,
but what I like about him is the fact he's carrying on management as well.
Yeah.
Because he's still shithousing Sunderland fans.
GCSE drama, by the way.
Sunderland cannot deal with Fleetwood at all. They can't cope with him. He's obviously still in the heads because I don't.
Been rattled by a shellfish.
They are. They're still proper rattled by Barton.
Yeah.
Right. We've done Matt Ritchie, but obviously he gets a mention in yours, Jess. But did anyone else have Matt Ritchie in the midfield? It was you, Daryl, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. So Matt Ritchie, obviously we've covered, but going over to Scott Parker, who was a bit of a late contender, I guess, because of his mention on Twitter, where he sent, was it Joe Cole flying?
Oh, it's one of my favourite videos ever. He sends Joe Cole. He pretty much somersault. It's absolutely.
His legs are like that.
There's a video on YouTube, and it's set to "Feeling Good" by Muse, and it's like all the. I'll post the link after this because everyone. And then the bit. So there's the bit at the beginning where it's like. There's like all that, and it's like there's like loads of words on the screen saying like this is the best tackle of all time, blah blah blah. And then the bit where it goes dun, he just goes in, and then it's that tackle on a loop for the rest of the song. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I love old YouTube videos where text would fly across the screen. It's been made in Windows Movie Maker, and it's
that's literally what it is.
It was like
it's the best tackle of all time. I think it even says YouTube removed this video, so I brought it out again. Like it's incredible.
Oh, internet of many years ago. I hope it stays forever. Right. So what did we have there? We had Batty, we had Ritchie, we had Parker and Barton.
Yes,
that's what you've gone for. And is that like a diamond you've gone for?
Yeah, it would just wherever they want.
Chuck them all on. Yeah, okay.
Do a Steve Bruce and just say do what you want.
Tell us their way to the win. Daryl, let's have your alternatives in midfield apart from the ones we've already heard.
Yeah, there's only one of there for me to add, and that's Emery. And
Emery's in mine as well.
It's difficult though because I'm just thinking about it. Like Emery is sort of really on the border of being a shithouse and just being a shit.
Oh, if the scale is Niall Ranger to Tim Krull, we're very much the final peg before Niall Ranger with Emery. And Emery wouldn't like to be too close to Niall Ranger as far as he's concerned. So that's probably just his view, not ours. And Emery has made that pretty clear. So we'll not delve too much into that side of things. But in short, Emery, you're a shit, or in Turkish, you're a shit. But we want to focus on the house side of it.
There's a Turkish barbers in the Metro Centre that's still got a Newcastle Emery shirt up on the wall.
The thing. He's a Turkish hero.
I've got his name on the back of one of mine.
I've got his name tattooed on me.
No, on the back of one of my shirts.
Look, let's not beat around the bush here. So, Daryl, I know which goal you're going to talk about, and it's that one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's the winner in the derby. It was just superb.
Yeah.
Free kick, and then he goes over and runs and jumps on Graham Souness. And the way I think about Graham Souness, I wouldn't have jumped on him.
Another shithouse.
I would have punched and kicked him probably, but that's a different story. And he had a brilliant goal against Reading as well.
Yes.
He just absolutely blasted it, and he was he was pretty decent. I remember him on old Pro Evolution Soccer games being very good at shooting from distance as well. So he was just when he was here, and he just turned into a shit after he went. After he went back home, he just turned into a shit.
It was him and Martins who were like I always thought it was amazing that we signed them from Inter Milan. I always thought, it's fantastic. We've got these amazing players, Champions League quality, and it just didn't really work out for Emre in the end. And he was off back to Turkey for a strange clause.
I don't think the managers we had at the time helped. Let's be fair.
Sorry.
I don't think the managers we had at the time helped. Let's be fair.
No. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Souness was the only reason he stayed, and as soon as Roda came in, I think that Emre's mind was made up. So off he went, and I think he's only just retired.
How long was Emre actually at Newcastle?
2 seasons, I think. 2-3
seasons. I was going to say it wasn't very long.
He left when Roda was manager, so I don't think he was there for the year that we qualified in the Intertoto in the 7. He was there just before, because he played in the gold kit. That was all. So obviously, I think he must have been on his way out as Shearer retired, and then he was he there for when we had the Allardyce kit, the Northern Rock.
I can only picture him in the gold.
Yeah, and so can I. I'm not sure. He didn't do anything of any note though by then, and he was on his way. So Emre Belözoğlu is in there. And who's your other one, Daryl? You didn't have another one, did you?
Everybody else is the same.
So Lee's going to hit us with some differentials here.
I've just got one. I went for 4-3-3. The 2 midfielders that we named were Batty and Joey Barton. The third one, Lee Bowyer.
I looked at Lee Bowyer and I thought about it.
Looking at
it was unfair without Kieran Dyer.
If I think Lee Bowyer's a little shit, and he's playing for my team, what must the opposition think of him?
That's such a good point.
Horrible little arse on the pitch. And he's playing for Newcastle, and I'm looking for So what it must have been like for the opposition team and the opposition fans. It was just it was like one of those little drunk, skinny 8-year-olds. Went through blokes you see who want to fight everybody. He's not even going to beat him, but he's still going to fight you anyway. He was just.
He's a Londoner, isn't he? And obviously he's at Charlton now, but that's his bread and butter. And it's weird about Bowyer. It was weird about Leeds players at the time. If they left Leeds and went anywhere else, they came with a label on. Saying, like, do not wind up. I mean, even obviously Woodgate and him had their thing in the past as well at Leeds. It was kind of like, oh God, they're a bit naughty, these lads. But Bowyer, good servant for the club, and of course he's doing all right in management. But he was one that I looked up and I thought maybe Bowyer would get in there. So good shout on that one. We're getting to the strikers now. So Lee, how many have you got up front? You've gone for 3, because I've gone for 3 as well. And Daryl and Jess, you've gone for 2 strikers.
No, I've got 3.
You've managed to get 3 in there. Oh yeah, because you've got 3 at the back. I was like, you just like snuck
Jess can't count. No, I've got
I've got 12th person on the field. Well, Daryl's blown his load and told us who's coming. So let's save that. Yeah, I know what I said. I meant every word.
Oh my God.
Sheer class. So, has anyone gone for Callum Wilson?
No.
Because Callum Wilson was one that some people put in purely on the basis of what he did in the West Brom game. I've stuck him in just because why not? That little kick to the legs as West Brom were about to go, that's what you want in Newcastle United, and I absolutely respect that. And you know what? If he did it against us when he was at Bournemouth, Lee, you'd be furious, wouldn't you? Of course, absolutely. That's the rules. So, let's go. Jess, give us one of yours, please. Not Shearer, if you've got Shearer.
Craig Bellamy.
I got a special mention for him in mind, but tell us about Craig.
He was kind of, I mean...
Great player.
This was kind of the same as what Lee's just said about Bowyer. Like, when you think your own players, when you like kind of grit your teeth at your own player and think, oh God, that's he's a little bit naughty. That's when you know. And there's not that much that I can remember from Craig Bellamy, because I mean I'm probably primary school, early secondary school age, primary school age.
But I remember about Bellamy. I mean, him and Shearer were the best strike partnership I've seen at Newcastle.
and the vast majority of what I remember of him is him being a little shit.
Yeah.
So
again, he fell out with Souness, didn't he? I was gutted about that, and I think was it. He went to Celtic and he refused to play. He refused to play on AstroTurf when he had to go to one of the clubs in Scotland who played on it.
There's one story about him which is off the pitch, which I can't even remember who told us, but this is years and years ago. He was buying a car and was like trying to get like discount and trying to get this, that, and the other, and what have you. And the person wasn't rising to it, and they weren't giving him what he wanted. And he pulled out the "Don't you know who I am" line.
Brilliant.
And it's just like, oh God, it makes you just shudder, doesn't it? It's horrible. But that's
gobshite.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's another good word for him, isn't it? Gobshite and shithouse. What?
And I think he left Newcastle with cornrows as well, or like with his long hair and his headband. So
he did, yeah. But yeah, so Bellamy makes him.
He threw a chair at John Carver in the airport as well.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, didn't you throw a chair at him or something?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Champions League game.
But the other thing I'll say about Bellamy was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant at Newcastle. He's one of the quickest players I've ever seen.
Thoroughly enjoyed Craig Bellamy. And,
he was different. Like, he was at Newcastle. He was one of those players that you look at in your team and you think, do you know what? I'm so pleased that he's playing for us. Yeah. And then when he's playing against you, you think, fucking hell, he's a horrible little shite.
Yeah. And he seemed to play. He seemed to play forever as well. That was the weird thing about Bellamy, because you forget that he came to us when he was quite young, but even prior to us, he was at Norwich and Coventry. Coventry was when I first became aware of him. Then he came to Newcastle, and then he went on to play for everyone. I mean, he had Blackburn, Liverpool, Man City, Celtic, and I can't remember what Cardiff. Obviously, he finished at. He played for the GB team at the Olympics as well. He was one of the older ones who got in there. It was crazy, and I did like Bellamy. So
he's now pulling up trees at Anderlecht in the coaching system, isn't he?
Has he gone there? Has he? Yeah. Well, if it keeps him off TV spouting shite about us, then fine. I'm happy to see the back of him there. We'll save the man, the myth, the legend. Don't know his name, but we've got another one. Duncan Ferguson is one who is in yours. Lee's nodding there, and Daryl as well. I don't know too much about Duncan Ferguson, because again, it was a little before I started to really follow Newcastle and take interest in the games. But I mean, a man who kicked down a manager's door, say no more. That's all. Daryl, did you have anything else to add about Duncan?
He wasn't here for very long. A bit like Batty, but you didn't mess with him. I often wonder who would have won in a fight between Duncan Ferguson and David Batty. I really don't know who would win.
Is it Ferguson another ex-con?
Yeah, I think it
probably. Either an ex-con or a soon-to-be con.
No, he looked on somebody when he was playing for Rangers and got jailed for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Christ.
I think that's how he ended up down at Everton, isn't it? Because he had to leave Glasgow. Because
he was a con.
Another famous YouTube clip is of Duncan Ferguson playing for Everton against Wigan and Jimmy Bullard. Bullard squares up to Duncan Ferguson, and all of a sudden you just see Jimmy Bullard go like that.
Yeah, that's funny. Another one. I'll recreate it for you with my fine actor stand-in, Pat BCC.
We're gonna have to make a thread of all the clips that we've mentioned.
Clips that we've mentioned tonight, the best of the shithouse. I mean, the Duncan Ferguson clip is brilliant, and Jimmy Bullard is loving it, and it's very, very funny. Lee, did you have a different striker other than
mine? Was just a sort of an honorary mention.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to go back to the mid to late 80s.
Now, I think this is going to be one that got mentioned in the comments, because I've got a special mention for him. So I'd be intrigued to know if it's the same one.
I didn't say it in the comments. It's our favourite Brazilian, Mirandinha.
Not Mirandinha, okay. Couldn't be further from Mirandinha.
For one incident, we played Wimbledon at St James's in the FA Cup 5th round. I think it was 87. We got beat 3-1. And at the end of the match, you've got Mirandinha, who's about 4'2". And you've got Dave Besom playing in goal for Wimbledon, who's about 6'7". And Mirandinha, pissed off as he was, just ran up to Dave Besom as Dave Besom's walking off the pitch and literally kicked him right up the arse.
Brilliant.
and then had the temerity to try and run away from him as if he hadn't done it. And this big lumbering Dave Besant chasing this little Brazilian around the pitch because he'd kicked him up the arse. Great.
Oh, that's
Really
amazing.
was. So yeah, he's my honourable mention.
Honourable mention. But what was your strike partnership that you went for?
I've gone for Bellamy, Mirror, and the big man.
Who must not be named right now. Daryl, who was yours?
The other one was I had Duncan Ferguson and I had Alan Shearer.
Oh, Alan Shearer. And Jess, you had
I had
Shearer.
Craig Bellamy, Duncan Ferguson, and Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer, yeah, and Alan Shearer for me as well. Alan Shearer, I mean, let's be honest, great player, cracking goal scorer. He did all right, didn't he? But a massive shithouse because he seemed to get away with it every single time. You're talking about a guy who barely got yellows and he just wound teams up. Roy Keane, namely.
That's the best one. He's literally just laughing. He's just laughing in his face.
And he's not even laughing that much. He's just like,
yeah, it's just kind of
like a side smirk. It's weird.
Like very smug. Like,
yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it.
If Beckham hadn't got in between them, who'd have won?
Keane. Keane. Although I think Shearer would give him a good go.
Do you think Keane's like actually hard as nails though, or do you think?
Yes. No. Yeah. Another podcast mentioned the other week saying I don't think Roy Keane is actually human. I think he's got a switch that would see him like actual red steam would come out of his ears.
I don't know, you know.
Oh, I think Sky Sports have softened him up, but I think back when you see him in that tunnel with Vieira, he would kill Vieira.
Micah Richards has got him. He's like,
he's got him.
He's got him.
But in that tunnel, Graham Paul probably was going to get knocked out if Roy Keane had been seconds before that, and Patrick Vieira would have been next.
A little bit Kulu, but Shearer definitely fancied himself to take Keane.
Yeah.
Not long back on Match of the Day, you actually got asked, would you have had him? And Shearer just gave a knowing sort of, I'd have had him. He did. He really fancied his chances against Keane. He did that day. But it was great just seeing Keane literally falling apart at the seams.
Yeah.
Tell you what. And didn't
go on, Neil.
I was just going to say, didn't Shearer also kick someone in the chest?
Oh, are you thinking about where he tried to decapitate Neil Lennon?
That's the one. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And then coming back to another one of the shithouses, so Shearer's literally tried to take Neil Lennon's head off. And Neil Lennon's half on the pitch and half off the pitch. David Batty walks across, grabs him by the collar and drags him off the pitch.
And that was the one, was it? Right, okay, brilliant. Well, there we go. The combination there.
A little shout there as well when we beat Man United 5-0 and he put the cross in for Sir Les's goal. And as soon as it's gone in, that's the one.
Go on, Jess, we'll all do one together, shall we? For the screenshot. Everyone together. Everyone at home, join in. Come on.
I just spilled red stripe on myself.
It's worth it, though. It's worth it for Shearer.
God's sake.
Oh, dear. We do love it. We do love it. Sheffield United have just...
Who's the captain? Stephen Taylor.
Stephen Taylor's the captain, I think. I think there were shouts for Pardew and Carver as manager and Joe Kinnear as director of football. There was a few other special mentions that we won't go into too much detail because we are vastly over time here. But the late great Chexiote loved to leave a bit on every tackle as he went in, and he smacked the floor and he threw tantrums and he was brilliant. Johan Kabay as well. A lot of people said he was a bit of a shithouse, bit of a time waster, like to take the ball to the corner and stuff. Craig Bellamy was in my special mentions, but of course he's made one team. Stuart Pearce as well got mentioned in there. I think he was a bit of an all-time shithouse, but when he was at Newcastle, I guess did he do a bit of that, Daryl? Did he? No. Okay. There's no time. We've got no time. Straight yes or no. Did he shithouse? No, he didn't. Right, on. There was another one of Younger and B were teaming up with Krull for the shithousery at Spurs. Alexander Mitrovic as well, kicking players just left, right and centre and elbowing and getting away with it in the game, but not so much for the end. And the one I was going to mention, Lee, was Billy Whitehurst.
Billy Whitehurst, I was there.
Right, tell us what happened, because it apparently had a bit of a spat with the fans.
Yeah, it was Oxford on a Wednesday night. I think it was 1986, and we were shite, but he was shiter. Billy Whitehurst wasn't a footballer. Billy Whitehurst was more of a fighter. I think he actually worked on a building site. But we signed him from Oxford. We had this game Wednesday night against Oxford, and he was absolutely shy in that first half. And he literally got dog's abuse. He got you think what Longstaff's getting on social media now is bad. That was nout. But Billy Whitehurst, as he was, couldn't give a shit. Just walked off the pitch and he was giving it that to the West Hander. Never to be seen again, Billy Whitehurst.
I love the idea of a player leaving in a blaze of glory such as that.
Yeah, he was another one who would have fought any fan in that stand. He would have quite happily said, "Right, outside, I'll see you."
Yeah. Oh,
he was a head case.
And that ties us nicely into the fact that Carver, of course, was the assistant who offered himself out to fans as well. So it's a team full. I mean, let's be honest. Looking at this team, they would deck you. I absolutely deck you, every single one of them. They're kicking you to bits if you take a look at these. So and Chopra, I don't know. Chopra's probably just about, isn't he? He's always about.
Chopra wasn't the shithouse. It was you that was the shithouse.
I wasn't the shithouse. I just said you can expect Chopra every minute.
I do believe the words were "What's up, shithouse" or whatever.
What's up? What are you saying, you shithouse?
We'll put a link to that as well.
I just wanted to know what he thought about Michael Owen's book, and he didn't tell me. And lo and behold, a few weeks later, he did an article in the Shields Gazette telling everyone what he thought of Michael Owen's book. So, thank you, Michael. Oh dear. So I was the inspiration behind that brilliant article there. That's the Shithouse 11. We've done it to death. We've gone right over. Kitzbauer kicked aboard.
Honourable mention.
See, I wasn't sure if that actually made him a shithouse or if he was just an emotional guy. Just a mentalist. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we hope he's all right. He'll kick someone down halfway through. That'd be good, wouldn't it? You know, we're getting close to Christmas. Some big surprises. That door behind Lee, Kitzbauer just walks in. Fun story about Kitzbauer. I thought Kitzbauer's first name, until I found out it was Tamuri, was John. I don't know why. John Kitzbauer. I don't know why. Then I realised I was getting it wrong my entire life. So there we go. Right, yes, that's that. And God, that was worth the wait. Fulham is next for Newcastle, sadly. But maybe it's the best team that you could possibly play after the game that came for us against Leeds. Does anyone think that we could get a shit sandwich in that West Brom is one slice of bread, Leeds is the awful middle tastes of absolute shit, and then Fulham, we round it off and smack it all together and maybe try and rectify some of the mistakes. Lee?
Fulham looked really good against Liverpool. They look very good. They've got a lad called Decadava Reed. I think he scored the goal on Sunday against Liverpool, and he looks very dangerous. I can't see us turning him over at the minute, to be honest with you, given what we've done for the last two games.
Yeah.
I'm going for a 1-1.
Going for a 1-1 on that one, right? We've got a draw there. Daryl, have you got a win?
No.
No, okay, right. Because my question was going to be, how do we beat them? But, I mean, if you had to hesitate a guess, what would you say?
Shithouse them.
Shithouse them, right? Yeah, brilliant. This is why we did this today. We tried to inspire them with the shithouses of past. What's your score, Daryl?
I'm going with 1-1 as well, but I think Mitrovic will have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, coming back to haunt us. Jess, do you?
He's not getting the game, Mitrovic, at the minute.
Oh, but he will against Newcastle, and he'll play like he's absolutely. Oh, you know he will.
Like his life depends on it. Yeah.
And he won't celebrate, will he, Lee?
The thing is, if Mitrovic does what you call it play, he'll be that fired up. I think he's a red card waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And we're good. We're good against 10 men, so you know, fingers crossed. I do like playing against 10 men. I always enjoy watching us more. Jess. Yeah.
I'm thinking 2-1. Almost a mirror image of last Saturday.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Exactly the same.
Yeah. It's going to buy him more time, isn't it? So
I'm with you on that one because I not that I'm excusing anything the other night, but I think that fatigue comes into it. But there always seems to be a reaction from Newcastle when we get absolutely humped, and I think something in Bruce knows that he does have to save his skin. So I know that we might think that he doesn't actually mastermind anything, but he will set us up to make sure that we do not ship that many goals. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 Newcastle. I think it'll be absolutely awful to watch. Sky have got it at 8 o'clock, so it's bound to be awful. So there we are.
Just everyone start drinking at 12 and it'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, I've got Christmas shopping to do. Mind you, that might feel like drinking by the time I get out of Phoenix. So maybe I'll be feeling very lightheaded, and hopefully I'll pass out in time for the match. I just thought that we're probably not going to do another one until after Brentford as well. So what's everyone's predictions for that, Lee? What do you think? I mean, rather than say the score, do you think we'll get through or not?
God, I hope we do. He's just got to put his strongest possible team on the park. He has none of this shite resting players because he's just got to put everything he's got into it. Because Brentford, they'll not be a rollover. They'll not roll over for us. It's going to be a difficult game away to them. I think it's a good thing that the stands are going to be empty.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a different kettle of fish had it been full because it would have been jumping.
Well, of course, it was going to be tier 2, wasn't it? So they would have had some fans.
Yeah, they would have had some fans in there. But listen, I'm desperate for it because my lad's 16 on Boxing Day and he doesn't remember Newcastle being in a semi-final. And
Christ, that's depressing, man.
It is. I mean, I just want him to experience a semi-final with fans on our fans. I want him to have something to get excited about. I mean,
absolutely.
That was our last semi-final, wasn't it? 2004, was it?
Yeah.
So, the big night was that, Lee, when we got through with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Christ.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and we called him Surely.
I've gone red.
Anyway.
Move on, Darryl, what do you reckon?
Yes. Win or lose,
I think we might get through on penalties. I really do.
Yeah.
That'll finish me off.
I'm absolutely praying that we go through.
We're kicking off at 5 as well, so if you hear me at all scream during my show on Tuesday, that'll be why. Either way, to be honest. And Jess, what do you think?
I think same as Darryl. I think we'll go through, but I think it'll be on penalties.
Going through ugly. I would like to see it because the semi-finals do beckon. And as I replied to Luke Edwards the other night, he was like, "Is this the most important one?" I said, "Well, it's going to rectify some of the problems that we had against City, and it will set us up for another game with City in the semi-finals." So bring it on. And of course, after that, it's Boxing Day. So, like you say, Lee, resting players, it's not out of the question really. If the next league game is against Manchester City and then Liverpool, so let's sack off Christmas, get through. And let's see what happens next year, and hopefully.
I'd rather rest players against City and use them for Brentford.
No, that's what I mean. Sorry, I mean rest them in the City game. So get them on.
Absolutely.
Then rest them again. Yeah, sorry, no, some wild claim that I want to rest players in the cup all of a sudden.
It's them games are like a write-off anyway, aren't they? So
but then. You never know.
We'll see.
No, you do know this season, unfortunately. That's it. Look, the longest ever extra time, but very much worth it for our shithouse 11s. And if you've watched to the end, you've got that glorious moment for Lee there. So,
can I just say we'll drop a link somewhere down here somewhere about signing up. I think it's a couple of quid a month.
Subscribe. It's a little amount. It makes everyone able to get lovely microphones like this. Of course, I pay for this.
My ring light.
Yeah,
but it's working wonders.
It's
for just £2 a month, you can provide dress. But we'll drop a link. We'll drop a link below. Darryl and Lee, they're both members, so. Thank you very much.
That's where they're on this week. So there you go. Remember, you can come on.
Private party.
Look, it's been a rough week for Newcastle. I know we got a win, but the Leeds did take the wind out the sails. So let's see what happens against Fulham, and let's see if we can get through the cup. Me and Jessa will be back before Christmas, so we will see you for something special. We will also be with you between Christmas and New Year because, let's be honest, we've got no else better to do. So here we go. We'd rather talk about Newcastle United. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Darryl.
No problem, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
See you next time, Jess.
You will. See you later.
It was your birthday the other week, wasn't it?
Oh,
Bye-bye.
See you later.